Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is your host, friend, the Vamp, and we're just setting up to talk about my top 10 favorite Stephen King adaptations. If you've seen my last video, we went to number 3, one of the best horror films of all time, and that's The Shining. Fitting number 1 would have been a storybook ending. But that's not how I feel. I love that movie. I freaking love them. I can watch The Shining every day and I get tired. And every time I watch it, I still get freaked out. I still see wonderful things. But this specific film, it's not a better film, but it grabbed my attention in a special way. So to really find out, well, first of all, let me reveal my choice, as if you didn't know, because you already clicked on the title of the video. But we're really gonna talk about Secret Window. And Secret Window is just, probably what you probably will say is a quirky movie, probably, kind of in the middle of the road. You may have thought that may make an impression at 7, 8, or 9 or something like that. But no, I mean, it's all the way to number 2. But and I understand you guys are just jumping and saying, "What the hell? How come you like this, rather strange movie, so much?" And there's and let me give you a very articulate, long answer, because I better defend it, because it's a big big thing to place it all those way here. Now, this story, first of all, it comes from a book called 4 Past Midnight, which is kind of like it's kind of like a collection of stories here, and it's based on the novella Secret Window, Secret Garden. And which, by the way, I had not read by the time I watched this movie. All I knew was Johnny Depp was going to be there. I knew it was a Stephen King adaptation, and I knew it was going to be sort of a horror movie, suspense thriller type of movie, and that's all I knew. When I got there, when I sat down, ate my freaking popcorn, and watched this movie, I was delighted, and I knew I was gonna love it the second I started watching it, because of 3 things. Well, first of all, let's talk about what the movie is about, because chances are you're still kind of wobbly, because you just don't know why I picked this movie. So let's talk about what the movie is about, because chances are you may not have even seen it. Secret Window is basically the story of this writer that's kind of trying to piece back together his life, pretty much. He's basically basically getting a divorce from his wife, and he's dealing with the fact that that she cheated on him, and he caught her doing it, and he's going through a horrible case of writer block. So he goes to this place, this little place apart, where basically he starts living there in this cabin like thing, outside of what's called society, and basically he is just very depressed. He's feeling, understandably, he can't write, and to make matters worse, this guy Shooter is coming in and saying that, hey, you know what? By the way, Shooter is this, southern, very hard ass dude who feels very violated, because he's accusing him of having stolen a story from him. So he's accusing of plagiarism, and at first Johnny Depp goes like, "Hey, you know what? It's not. This is not my. How can I say it? See, he's like, you're out of line. You're lying. You can't prove that I wrote. That you wrote your story before mine." And he goes like, "Well, you have to give me proof, because I'm pretty sure that you stole the story." And he tries to give him a copy of his story, and he won't take it. But it turns out to a very ugly feud, and he doesn't want to go to the legal system. He doesn't want to go to the cops. He wants to settle it, the man's way. And if he doesn't do it, Shooter looks like the type of guy, like sort of like straight up redneck that may just shoot him or something, like his name suggests. So he gets scared of this guy after something happens, and then he's involved in a case where this guy is trying to kill him for stealing his story, and at the same time he's dealing with his divorce. And he hires this private detective to protect him, and basically this is all setting up to an incredible reveal, which dare not give you away. I want you to watch it, but it's so freaking interesting and incredible that once you see it, it will blow your socks off, guaranteed, man. It did mine, because I wasn't expecting the ending. By far I wasn't. When I finally saw it, I was like, wow. So what attracted me to this? Well, first of all, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but my trade, I have a journalism degree. I'm a writer myself. So I love to write, and Stephen King just has this knack of including stories that have writers in peril, right? And actually my favorite Stephen King book is called The Dark Half. The Dark Half movie is so shitty, I dare not talk about it. It's horrible. It does no. It's one of the worst adaptations. It might be, if I ever do a top 10 worst, which I hope. Please don't make me do that, because you'll force me to relive all the stupid movies because unfortunately, yes, there's a lot of misses on the Stephen King too, that have not been treated well. But yeah, The Dark Half would be one of them. But it's an incredible adaptation about a writer that was born with a twin, and he consumed the twin inside the belly. There's a condition that happened, and kind of like, it's weird because I'm going off in a tangent about cannibalistic thing, and he eats him, and then later on in life he's trying to come out of him and possess him. The twin that was never born, the personality. By the way, this is a real condition that actually happens for fetuses and things like that. But I'm getting off the subject. But the point of all this is just that I am fascinated. So that if that's my favorite book, you would know why I just love freaking when it has to do with writers, and I love movies that have to do with mind things that mess with your mind. And this movie will mess with your mind royally. The ending, it's Rattle Tales from the Crypt type of thing. I just freaking love it. The story just sucked me in. I could not blink. I was just eating popcorn. I got like the mega tub. I ate the whole damn thing. I think I was with my friend, which I was totally trying to ignore, asking me questions about Stephen King. I was like, dude, I'm gonna hit you, because I'm saying, I'm watching Stephen King right now, like, dude. So I was so into it. And it was, so the story sucked me in. Now the acting, I like, man, I love Johnny Depp acting. I mean, so many movies, and no, not the Pirates on the Caribbean. Even though he actually is probably one of the few things that actually interest me about those movies. Everything else is besides the Black Pearl. I think everything else went. But I mean, ever since he started on freaking Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Edward Scissorhands, and then Sleepy Hollow. Man, I love freaking Sleepy Hollow. That's one of my guilty pleasures as well. In so many. I mean, let me. Ed Wood, man, wow, incredibly underrated, awesome performance. And Don Juan DeMarco, which I really enjoy, as quirky as it is. Donnie Brasco, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Come on, man. I mean, From Hell. I mean, I can go on and on and on. He is so freaking weird in real life. This dude. I went to Paris. I was actually seeing. I was thinking maybe I might bump to him on the streets, and I can say hi, but no such luck. And when I was in Paris, I couldn't find him. I didn't see him. But he's a weird dude in real life, I heard. But he makes an incredibly great actor. I just coming back. So in this, he's this quirky guy that's going through a very hard time, very human. I feel for him, and I the dude that banged his wife and took it from him, and all the stuff, and then his wife, and listening to the reasons why she left him and all this stuff. It's all, it's all unbelievably, make me root for him even more. And if you know at the end, then you'll see why I pretty much, my mind got disturbed, because I was expecting, and that's why they get this honor, because this is just, I have watched this movie I don't know how many times,
and I still love it. Now the acting, man, besides Johnny Depp, is John Turturro was born to play John Shooter. John Turturro plays this straight up really hard ass redneck dude, who doesn't have a sense of humor by the slightest. You just learn to hate, and yeah, the things that he does to that dog, you learn to hate him until you find the end, right? Then we have Maria Bello, so beautiful and such a conniving woman. I hated her too. Then we have playing the cheating wife, even though you kind of understand why what happened at the end. Timothy Hutton, awesome as Ted, the asshole dude, and Charles Dutton as the private investigator is unbelievable, man. He's spot on, dude. I always like him. I mean, so why I love this movie, because everything that I really like, it was all put into one freaking film. The stars line up. I know. The Shining, yes, will always, be the best horror, one of the best horror films of all time, right? But this film, Secret Window, I love. And I can watch it over and over and over and over and over again, and it's just a guilty pleasure. I think it's an excellent film. Maybe one of the Stephen King's most underrated films of all time, if I do another most underrated film, which, hey, that may be a spoiler. But yeah, I think that's what else is great about the movie? The pacing, the atmosphere, the cabin and where he's staying and all that stuff. Everything about it, it's just, I think it's just beautiful. Just awesome, just perfect. I mean, it's just, what else can I say? I mean, David Coab, awesome direction. Stephen King, just a short story. Who knew that it would capture my attention on that way? I was completely blown away. Now, two things I need to set up for you. First of all, my number one pick. If you think you're shocked now, you're gonna be shot at a cannon when you find out my best. Now, if you know me, you can kind of guess what I like. But maybe not. You can guess my number one. But the next video is not gonna be about that. The next video is all and there's a lot of movie. There's a lot of great Stephen King adaptations that are not gonna make the list. And I'm gonna talk about all of them. So stay tuned for a video where I talk about a whole bunch of movies. Maybe none, but I think quite a few. I think I'm recalling now that are really great, but there's just one thing or something that's off that just can't include it here. And in there you may have some real shockers. So stay tuned for next video. Be cool. The two coolest videos are yet to come, people. Get excited with me. Take care. Be blessed. See you next video.